Before we begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam and CBSE Bharat Sahodaya for giving me this coveted opportunity. I also extend a very warm welcome to all the participants. It is indeed a pleasure to have each one of you as an integral part of the webinar, as we embark together on this enlightening journey of decoding why is art integration essential for the classrooms of today in the 139th web training series. Continuing with its plethora of endeavors, the CBSE Bharat Sahodaya, along with today's remarkably talented resource person, Dr. Meenakshi Narula, will seek to provide valuable inputs in this session. Art integration builds greater understanding across disciplines, supporting authentic experiences that engage and motivate learners. This practice provides multiple modes of learning and understanding, while also fostering imagination, creativity, and personal interpretation of ideas and topics. Through creative inquiry, art integration generates a level of personal connection and insight that supports the processes of art making. Art integration is particularly suited to building a learner's capacity for connection, making between self, others, and the world. So before we begin with today's valuable session, there are a few things I'd like to brief you about. Kindly keep your device cameras switched on for the session. Any query in the midst of the session can be conveyed through the meeting chat box. In order to have an interactive experience, you may dispel your doubts by asking questions. Kindly virtually raise your hand and wait for your name to be called out for asking your query. The participants will also have the opportunity to receive certificate, but only after filling up the certificate and feedback form, the link for which will be shared at the end of the session. Kindly stay connected till the end of the session. At this juncture, on behalf of all of us present in the webinar, I would like to thank Dr. Salam for empowering us with such enlightening sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Abdul Salam, the General Secretary of CBSE Bharat Sahodaya Complex and the Principal of prestigious the Oxford School, Trivandrum. Dr. Salam is also the CBSE resource person, master trainer, and CBSE Deputy Training Coordinator of Trivandrum region. Sir is the founder of BTAG, that is Bharat Transformers Academic Group, a consortium of educators and the teaching fraternity across the globe, connecting them together to empower the nation. Sir, it is indeed our pleasure to have your gracious presence, and I would request you to take over and deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everybody, once again. Well, Meenakshi, ma'am, thank you so much for offering this session to Bharat Sahodaya educators. Well, before we begin, we have been dealing with art integrated learning for many years, since CBSE has given so much instructions to us how to deal with and what is the benefit of art integrated learning, teaching learning. And dear participants, we will listen to Dr. Meenakshi Narula to know more about how we can integrate arts into our teaching in various disciplines. But before that, please bear in mind that art integrated project and learning are of two types: grade 1 to 10 and grade 11 and 12. Grade 11 and 12, there are no projects of art integration, only art integrated learning. Grade 1 to 8, there is one project to be made in art integration. That is of multidisciplinary in nature. You have to cross connect with other subjects, grade 1 to 8. Grade 9 and 10, for each subject, maximum 5 subjects, each project has to be made. That is also cross-linking with the other disciplines. So please bear in mind, art integrated project is up to grade 10, and grade 1 to 8, there is only one project of any subject you can choose, and grade 9 and 10, 5 subjects maximum, cross-linked, cross-connected projects, which are mandatory by CBSE, and grade 11 and 12, art integrated learning is recommended, no projects. And we'll know further about how to integrate arts into teaching by Meenakshi ma'am. Over to Himani ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your enlightening words, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst us, we also have the distinguished program collaborator, Mr. Biju S. Pillai. Mr. Biju S. Pillai is a treasurer of Bharat Sahodaya. He has a vast experience in the field of education in many capacities, including being the principal of many reputed CBSE schools. Sir, we are honored to have your gracious presence amidst us. I request Mr. Biju S. Pillai to felicitate the gathering with his kind words.
Thank you, Himani Bakshi. A wonderful evening to all educators. Most respected Director, Dr. Abdul Salam sir, a respected resource person of today's session, Dr. Meenakshi Narula, moderator Himani Bakshi, and all respected personalities on the Bharat Sahodaya platform. The National Curriculum Framework in the year 2005 has recommended art integration the subject for all stages like music, dance, visual, and theater. So for the last many years, how we are modifying the art integration, giving importance to this session, art integration with the teaching and learning process of all academic subjects from grade 1 to 12 is to promote active experiential learning for connecting knowledge to the life outside the school. So making learning more interesting, interacting, connecting with music, dance, so that the learning goes beyond the classroom. So to know more about it and to get all ideas and make it into practice in the classroom, we have a wonderful ma'am today, Dr. Meenakshi Narula. So we can know more about it from her. So I welcome for today's session. Hearty welcome to all the educators. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your very kind words. Dear participants, we shall now proceed to the highlight of today's webinar. Today amidst us, we have very talented Dr. Meenakshi Narula. Dr. Narula is the principal of Chelmsford Futuristic K-12 School, Oraya. Dr. Narula has completed more than 1,000 short-term courses, workshops, and trainings on metacognition, active learning, authentic assessment, and mentoring the mentors. She has been conferred with many accolades, namely Rashtriya Shiksha Ratna, Global Teachers Award, ICT Facilitator Award, Most Innovative and Engaging Teacher, and many more. Madam is a staunch proponent of learner-centered, challenge-rich, inquiry-led, SDGs integrated, and value-oriented holistic education for the students. Ma'am, on behalf of everyone present, I welcome you and request you to take over the proceedings of the evening.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Himanshi. And first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam, to Bharat Sahodaya, and each and every person who is associated with this, and my lovely educators who would like to listen to me, who wanted to know more about art integration. So without further ado, because already a lot of insights have been given by Dr. Abdul Kalam and Himanshi ma'am and other organizers about NEP 2020, about arts integration. You see, since 14th May 2020, when we received a circular from CBSE, like we have to integrate art, we started exploring a lot about art integration when we got to know, yes, this is mandatory for all of us to integrate arts in our education system. Sir has already said, like NCF 2005, it also talked about different art forms, music, dance, and other forms. But we just took them as art education. We did not think about art integrated learning. So please do allow me to share my screen. Here you go. I hope my screen is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
So we are going to talk about arts integration. So as the picture, as the background shows, obviously, what do we think? This is only art, drawing, painting, coloring. We thought this is only arts integration, but we got to know about different forms of art, what exactly art is, how we can integrate the same. When we talked about art integration, when we got a circular from CBSE, we integrate art at different levels too. We will be talking about different levels of art integration as well, different forms of art integration as well. What we have to do in art integration, we have to pick any topic that we want to teach in our class. Obviously, we are having our curriculum already defined, divided into different, you see, month-wise curriculum, our weekly curriculum, our day-wise plan as well. So when we are having a particular topic, then we have to think about how we have to go ahead with that. No, it is not like that, like overnight we have to plan. CBSE, in its competency-based education, it talks about opportunity matrix. Beginning of the year, when we make our academic calendar, then only we have to make our learning opportunity matrix, where we have to collaborate with different art teachers. They have to talk about different art forms that they are teaching in a particular class. So accordingly, taking that art form into consideration, we need to integrate our lesson with that particular art form. Obviously, when we are talking about, I'll give you one example, the little children, like foundational stage, then move ahead with the primary, that is now, and as per NEP, we call it preparatory stage, the middle stage. So they are learning different art forms. So whatever art form is being learned by middle school students, we cannot integrate that art form with the foundational stage or the primary stage. So that's why it becomes very important to talk to the art teacher. And here we go, when we talk about differential instruction in our classes, when we are having students, they are having different needs, they're coming from different educational backgrounds, they have different attention span and interest, right? They're having different learning styles. So that's why we need to cater to each and every child. For that, we need to integrate arts in our education. So today we're going to talk about how we all can become artful educators. So what if we are not perfect at a particular art form? I am not a dancer. I am not an actor. I am not even a bathroom singer, let me tell you. But still, I can integrate different art forms in my class when I teach science, when I teach languages, when I teach computers. When I take different subjects, I am able to integrate the same in my class. So we all are actors. As William Shakespeare said, this world is a stage and we all are actors. We all are performing different roles. My lovely educators, 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, what we do, we act in front of the children. We present our education, our learning in different forms to our children to make it interesting. Same teacher, when he's going to 10th standard, is teaching in a different form. And the role changes when the same child, the same teacher goes into a middle class or maybe a primary class. We are actors. We just, when we are narrating a story, we wear another costume. I would like to talk about, certainly we keep on changing our roles. Even our sadness, whatever is there, that remains inside us, and we bring a smile on our face so that we will be able to give the best to our students. So here, my lovely educators, when I talk about arts integration, so here it has different benefits. Our objective is equity, critical thinking, right? Connecting learning with different disciplines, with arts as well, and empowerment. Children should feel empowered. For that, there are a number of ways. We will be talking about each and every way. So, my dear educators, arts, it provides unique symbols, metaphors, so that we will be able to enhance, foster 21st century communication skills. You see, when we talk about communication skills, they get better through different use of metaphors and all. And there, my lovely educators, when the children, they'll be able to create their own metaphors. They'll be able to give the examples from their own artwork. That enhances communication skills. Arts foster creativity. Obviously, art is itself, its meaning is itself creativity. Art is what that brings smile on our face. Smile. It stimulates our brain to learn. It motivates us. It inspires us, right? So it gives us lots of inspiration, and it leads us to have different kinds of expressions. So smile. So my dear educators, arts offer connections. CBSE talks about Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. We learn about paired state. We learn about our own state, which we belong to. And the children, they get to know about different cultures, different societies. So that is the benefit of arts. Arts foster well-being. See, when we integrate sports, when we integrate yoga, when we integrate value education, health and physical education, sustainable development goals, certainly it fosters well-being. Now, arts, it promotes community engagement as well. Children, they are involved in different kinds of research projects. They collaborate, they communicate, they connect with each other. So that leads to, my lovely educator, that leads to inclusive environment. So that's the benefit of arts education. So what more? Arts, it fosters learning. Learning becomes better. You see, when research says the children who learn through art, they outperform the students with no or little arts involvement. And imagine new possibilities. You see, my dear educators, you see, what we have started doing is, we have started teaching our students art in those traditional ways, in whatever the ways we were teaching other subjects. Like, if we want to ask our children, draw a scene, whatever you imagine, we draw the scenery on the board, we display the same, and the children, they copy it. My dear educators, let their imagination fly. And you see, children's imagination knows no bounds. So they are really very creative. So we have to foster that creativity in our children. Now it opens up new possibilities. Arts integration is more than using arts to teach academic subject. It's not like that we are just using arts. It is like making the classrooms lively. Making such kinds of, you see, it leads to the artistic processes in the classroom. The children, they start looking forward to coming to the class. Even when we talk about low attendance, you feel the children, they start looking forward to your classes. They miss you when you are not there. You know? So, and let me tell you, you can check it out, my lovely educators. It transcends previous limitations as well. If a child has not understood a particular topic in one way, if you start integrating art, like they say, if the children do not understand the way you teach them the way they understand. So if you will be teaching them in their way, those kinds of previous limitations, they also get eradicated, and the children's the concept, they become clear. They'll be able to connect their knowledge with the previous knowledge, right? And transdisciplinary approach, as sir even told in the beginning, like from classes 1st to 8th, we are having AIP, Art Integrated Project. From 1st to 8th, it is multidisciplinary. And for 9th and 10th, we are having subject specific projects. Like for 5 subjects, we will be having different projects integrating with art. So we will be able to connect different subjects with each other. I mean, they're different subjects. There is no boundary line between the different subjects. That is being removed. The children, they understand the concepts. Like suppose I'm talking about wastewater management. I am teaching that concept to my child. It's not like that I'm talking about sciences or social sciences or English language or SDGs. I'm talking about a particular concept. This is how we integrate different subjects. It is a pathway to expression. Children, they know how to present, how to perform. So that's a pathway to expression. And my lovely educator, I know all of you, you have read, you have talked about, you have listened in number of webinars. Like there is a theory of hemisphere dominance. Our left brain is associated with logical processes and the right brain is associated with the visual or the creative thinking. Number of activities have been conducted on the same. And what we start doing, we start labeling the children. This child is creative and it is a right aligned brain and it is having a left aligned brain, left dominant brain. My lovely educators, we need to look at another aspect as well. If we are talking about the hemisphere dominance, why are we forgetting about the hemisphere dependency? Both the hemispheres, they are working differently, like logical side as well as a creative side, but they are dependent upon each other. They are having different functions. Like if I am teaching my child about numbers, about letters, research says, like when the child is learning, the child is imagining too. I'm talking about apple and I can imagine the picture of apple in my mind, right? So my lovely educators, research says both the neurons, they fire in both the hemisphere. I mean, neurons fire in both the hemisphere means if we have to stimulate this kind of learning, why we people just always keep on fostering STEM education, now it has been changed to STEAM because arts has been integrated, STEM, STEM to STEAM. And now it is STREAM also because art is also added, that is read and write literacy. So my lovely educators, let's see, when these both hemispheres, they are working in tandem to each other, why not to stimulate both the hemispheres? That will be beneficial for both type of learners. That will foster their learning. So CBSE, this circular released on 14th May 2020, it talks about when we are talking about arts integration, we need to talk about, we need to promote our heritage, our culture. Art and education, there should be connection between them. Art integrated approach will strengthen the linkages between education and culture. This is highlighted in this very circular. So as and when we are trying to integrate any art form, we need to talk about our culture. See, our culture is so vast. Let us talk about our culture through different subjects, through different topics. So this is the CBSE circular. My lovely educator, I'm starting from this very circular that we received in 2019. Because when we read the circular received on 14th May 2020, it gives a reference to this very circular that is released on 2019. And this is about learning outcomes at elementary stage. Now we have got secondary stage, senior secondary stage also from NCERT. It talks about art integration, health and physical education integration, life skills integration to achieve the learning outcomes, right? So after that, we received this circular on, you see this one circular on 8th March 2019. This talks about introduction of art integrated learning at different levels in CBSE schools. My lovely educators, whatever I will be discussing with you, I will be giving you proper logic, like wherever I have got this information from and why we have to implement the same. Arts as a subject to be introduced at different stages, and we need to promote India's heritage and craft. It fosters experiential learning, deeper understanding, creativity, critical thinking, life skills, communication, inquiry, multidisciplinary approach. And they are saying AE, that is art education, and AIL, art integrated learning, they build on each other. Children, they will learn about different art forms, and then only they will be able to integrate the same. Introduction of art integrated learning doesn't mean we have to stop teaching different art forms. We have to teach art forms, then we'll be able to teach the same. And AIL should be there across all grades. As sir has shared in the beginning, right from class 1 to class 12th. Now, why a foundational stage has not been mentioned? Because earlier it was not a part of that. But now NCF says, NCF, now we have received 2022, right? So that elementary stage is also a part of that, the foundational stage. So right from when the child enters the school and leaves the school till grade 12, we have to integrate art in various forms. Now, another circular that we have received is about guidelines about art integration. This is a great manual, detailed one. It talks about, first of all, it begins with rich cultural heritage of India. Then it talks about art education and different suggestions for the schools, what all we can incorporate. Then it talks about art integrated learning as a future of pedagogy, as a future of creative teaching. It talks about different exemplars in English, math, science, social science. On Nishtha is available in Hindi as well. It talks about art integrated project, right? To be integrated at all levels. Now, let us first talk about art integrated learning annexure. As sir has said initially, we need to incorporate art in 3 forms. First of all, art education that you know very well. Till class 10, we should have at least 2 periods for our students in a week till class 10 for different art forms. And now second one, let's talk about art integrated learning as per annexure, or maybe we talk about AIL as per syllabus. So we have been given an annexure. I will be discussing with you different activities that are to be conducted. Like it talks about sketching, 4.1.1, you'll be able to see it on the screen, calligraphy, collage, printing, computer graphics, folk art in various forms. And if I move next, it talks about 2-dimensional sculpture activities too, use of various materials, twigs, branches, soft stone, etc. And then talks about assignments, like to be given to the students using that different art forms. And the children, they don't have to buy anything. That everything should be locally and easily available. That should not be a financial burden on the parents. It is very, very clearly mentioned if you read all the circulars by CBS. It is not like that we have to get it done from outside. It is not like we have to go to the stationery store and buy so many things to beautify our project. No, anything that is easily available, because our objective is arts integration and correlating art activities with other school activities, right? Like construction of puppets. If the children, they are doing something, now puppet also should be for some objective. Like for example, you can see in the picture, the children, they have made puppets as a scarecrow, as a part of their science subject. So I mean, that should have some objective and that should be in sync with the learning outcomes given by NCERT. Activities should not be done for the sake of activity only. That should be in sync with the LOs by NCERT. That is a beautiful document given to us. Like even it is suggested we need to display those learning outcomes in our classrooms as well. We need to make our parents also, stakeholders also aware of such kinds of learning outcomes. Like this is our objective, and we together have to help our children achieve those learning outcomes. And another one is art exhibition, cultural evenings, you see, visit to museums, botanical gardens, such kinds of activities to be done. My dear educators, what all pictures you will see here, that all the activities I have conducted. we have conducted in our school, and nothing has been taken from you see from some other school or like that. You'll be able to get to know how we can incorporate. I am sharing with you the actual examples, experiential learning. If we can do, we all can do. Like reproduction of artwork in printed in textbooks, whatever is printed, presenting in a different format, right? And contribution made by any one contemporary artist, patriotic songs, community singing, folk songs. We have been doing it in our classes. Each and every one has been doing. Listening to music programs, that's a project work, and then writing a description about the performance. So that's art integration. Children enhance their writing skills, verbal linguistic learners, right? So to write about various musicians by pasting pictures, collage formation, and then writing about them. So that is arts integration. Community singing, children, they participate in different kinds of cultural programs at different community organizations. Creative drama, mime, nukkad natak, one-act play scripts, and different episodes or happenings in day-to-day life situations that we take from different storybooks or the textbooks, exploring other forms of creative writing, and even designing costumes. The children, they can do the same. Now, dance and movement. Dance is a form of non-verbal communication. Gymnastics, skating. Dance is a mean of communication. Tribal and folk dances. Here comes Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, right? And documenting different dance styles, talking about them. My lovely educators, just performing the same during assembly, right, doesn't suffice our objective. Children, they explore something, they present something, and then there should be discussion on the same, or maybe any kind of documentation to be made, any presentation, any report writing. I mean, you need to integrate the same in different formats. It's just not, otherwise, you see, art integration will not happen in the real purpose. That is not our objective. So role plays, children, they can perform different role plays. Like you see, when you are talking about, you can see here are different pictures. When children, they are talking about different animals, tigers, in English language, there is one chapter also in some of the other classes when talking about tigers, right? And the children, they are coming in that costume and talking about the dialogue also. It's not about just coming over there, talking about different features, right? Adjectives related to tiger, the eating habits, and then other things you can see over there when we talk about De Bono's 6 thinking hats. So you are relating with critical thinking strategy. Children, they are presenting the same. Now, clay and sculpture. So now, my lovely educators, I have started discussion on AIL annexure is over now. Now, these pictures, they are related to, starting from this role play, I have started talking about art activities. We have been given a list. From that list, we have to select different activities like role play, clay. These are art activities, right? Now, AI activity like jewelry making can be done. See, the children, they quilling can be done, jewelry making, everything that you can see on the screen, that is handmade, quilling, made up of paper. And the children, they can have some exhibitions as well in the school, maybe outside in the community, right? That is art integrated learning. That is work education. That is doing something for the society, right? That is a noble cause where children, they can involve themselves in. And then photography. We might be thinking what we have to do with the photography. So see, children, they have captured the picture related to the theme, and then they have mentioned also the reason why they have clicked such pictures, how this is related to their subject matter. So we can go ahead with photography and culinary art. In CBSE document, it is clearly mentioned, like when we have to incorporate this, but when we talk about vocational education, especially 6th, 7th, 8th, the middle classes, we need to focus on different culinary art as well. Let the children know about balanced diet. Let the children know about food and culture of different states, right? So this is really very, very important. And the children have to be self-sufficient too. They should not be always looking forward to their parents, like they'll be giving them something to eat because they are hungry, right? So, I mean, you can incorporate such activities. Now, visit to monuments, and then making documentaries, filming the same, report writing, right? That can also be incorporated in any of the subjects. Now, this is again subject integration. When the children, they are knowing about balanced diet, healthy diet, let them explore what all they are having. I mean, practice before you preach, right? So let them know about these things. Now, art activity, dance. See, through dance, the children learn about different things. Here, I have just given a few examples, shapes, angles. This is just mathematics, but you can incorporate the same in any of the subject. You see, just Google it, just go to YouTube, and you'll be able to find number of examples. Our objective is not to imitate. Our objective is to bring creativity in our children, foster their creativity. Let them do something new. These can be the masterpieces for them, can be some kind of examples. You see now AI integration music. Look here, the children, they have participated.
Madam, audio is not available, I think.
Oh, just a minute, sir. I guess audio is not okay. Just a minute, sir. Is it audible? See, when the children, they are singing songs, they you can see there are some worksheets, some you see handouts, they are being displayed also on the glass pane, because the children, they have presented, they have shared their learning. If you look at the tables, different games have been laid over there, like they have to engage others. So it is not only about singing a song, it is about arts integration for learning. So here art through craft and collage also. You see, now look here, this picture that is there in the center. The child is measuring the height. And even that measuring tape has been made by a child using a satin ribbon. So that is arts integration, doing something and using it. So next. Art activity. Through display boards, we can go ahead with that. Whatever the children they are doing, let them display the same. You see here, you can talk about different cultures, different folk dances. The children, they are knowing about it and presenting the same through mask making and then displaying in art exhibitions. Designing games. Nowadays, we talk about gamification. My lovely educators. Our children, they are doing a lot online. Let us do something about board games. Let the children design something, whether they are, you see, sorting games have been designed by students, and then in languages, and they are doing online also. You see, Scratch game has been made, and different languages, Python, the children, they are designing in that too. I mean, different subjects also, they can help designing games. I mean, rather teachers creating games for the students, let them create the games for each other. Quizzes and maybe another games for them. Drama, enacting the same stories, plays, different scenes. They can present it in their morning assemblies, and they'll learn better. See, nothing, they don't have to buy any costumes for that. Just whatever they have done in art, they can use the same. Art integration, storytelling. Storytelling, number of sessions you must have attended on storytelling. Storytelling, you see, it makes learning interesting. See, art integration is a bigger umbrella. Underneath, you talk about music integration, dance integration, you see, storytelling, various forms you talk about. So today we are talking about a bigger umbrella. So puppetry, children are making puppets, and they are presenting story narration as well. So talk shows, conduct different talk shows for the students. That is also art form. The children, they enhance their oratory skills. They gain confidence to speak in front of the audience. You see, when we talk about my lovely educators, like our children, they have so much knowledge, but they don't have confidence to speak during interviews. They say, okay, I can write it, but I hesitate while speaking. Why? We should give them many opportunities. Talk shows related to the subject, content, debates, declamations to be organized in the school. And that is there in the list that is being provided by CBSE. And gardening, let them grow different useful plants, medicinal plants. That also comes under that kind of activity. And they will be relating the same with number of subjects. When we talk about agriculture, that is there in sciences, that is there in social sciences too. When we talk about different kinds of plants, when we talk about, you see, different types of nutrition, balanced diet, you can connect the same with anything, any topic you can talk about, and you can integrate the same for your learners. And the costume design, let the children wear different costumes of different cultures, and even they can enact also related to the topics given in their subjects, in the languages. Social sciences, when they are talking about, you see, maybe Mughal Empire, Delhi Sultanate, right? So I mean, they can, I'm just giving you a few examples that are coming to my mind, striking in my mind. My lovely educators, you can take it to any level. Now, paired state, already a list has been provided to us by Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, like Haryana with Telangana, UP with Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. Likewise, as a list has been provided to us by CBSE. Can we talk about different art forms, dance forms? Our children, they can talk about it. They can perform the same, and that should be followed by discussion. Slideshow and PPT making, that is also highlighted as art integrated activity. Now, it is mentioned slideshow and PPT because earlier only these forms were there. Nowadays, the children, they are having Sway, Wakelet. You see, number of platforms are there, Adobe, because this COVID has given us opportunity to explore plethora of digital tools. The children, they can do any number of things on this platform to present the same. So designing is also art, and then presenting the same is another form of art. So we need to include both. And my dear educators, I just want to talk about voice and choice. If in my class, I go and I ask my children, we will be participating in dance because we want to learn about different angles. So it may happen in my class, there must be some kind of learners who are not at all enthusiastic about participating in dance, because they are having different learning styles. Why not to give voice and choice to our students? There can be some verbal linguistic learners. Let them explore different angles in the name only, in the different letters. There are some children who would like to play with clay. Let them do something with clay. I mean, it should be voice and choice. We should not be asking our children, like, do this thing, do that thing. Give them a choice. Whether they are coming up with 3D projects, whether they are coming with the documents, whether they are coming with any enactment, it should be their choice. It should be their choice. You see, talking about sciences, social sciences, art integration, brochure making, that is also there in the list, making brochures and presenting the same through different art forms. Clay modeling. It's not only the little children in the junior classes who just play with clay dough. The seniors classes, children, they make different models, they make number of things with Play-Doh and they learn about it. When the little hands, they just integrate different parts, they just join them, they get to know about different parts. Calligraphy, I've already talked about. That is also an art form, presenting the same in, you see, different forms, what is there in your mind. Gamification, sports integration for kinesthetic learners. It can be done. Comic strips. Children, they design comic strips. That enhances their creativity. Can you imagine in a science class, the child is designing a comic strip, they're writing dialogues, presenting the same discussion with each other, like drawing and imagination happening, critical thinking, creativity, everything is being enhanced. So work education, when you are doing something and that is becoming useful for the community too. So that kind of projects can be done, outdoor, indoor, different activities can be done. Calligrams, word art, usually we do it in languages when we want our children to understand the meaning of a particular word from the picture itself, from the word itself. When they say words speak. When they're writing rain, it should be in the form of raindrops. When they're writing fire, it should be in the form of fire. Use that kind of, you see, art. So the children, they'll be able to get to know whatever they are writing, the words they speak. Now, see, my lovely educators, here it is, it's not only poster making, it's not only collage making, it is cause and effect. Thinking critically, right, is based on design thinking. Collecting the data, first of all, ideating. There are different steps, as you must be knowing. In design thinking, they need to ideate. What is the problem? They need to empathize. And then they collect the data. Okay. And then they sort it out. Prototype setting. And see, this, so many steps are involved. Then only they get to know. Just let me tell you, somewhere you must have read it. Art integration, it's not about a beautiful project that is being submitted in the school. If you even check and go and Google it, you will check about number of art integrated, beautifully decorated projects. I mean, so complicated. Like the children, they spend a lot of time creating those beautiful maybe puzzles or whatever. See, look here, art integration is here. It's a messy work. It is there in the process. Read in a document, CBSE document circular, it says art integration is not about the product. It is about the process. Look at the steps. It's art integration. It's a proper project. My dear educator, project is not something that we give in a booklet, that we give in a file, that we give in a folder. Project is 1 month, 2 months, 3 months long. When you see when AIP, art integrated project, we upload it, ask for how many months you have spent. And what we talk about, like 1 month, our children, they have done it in 10 days or whatever, because it's not only about picture pasting. It's about research. It's about collecting data. If you read the circular properly, I have read each and every word of all the circulars that are related to arts. I have been researching a lot, and it has been mentioned, we have to foster research skill, critical thinking in our students. They have to present the documents, art integrated. Suppose I am learning something, I'm teaching my children about, suppose, just look at this picture only. I'm talking about different kinds of waste products, right? So I want to integrate the same with art. It's not like the children, they'll capture the pictures from the roadsides and all, and they'll collect and they'll write a report on it. No, they will collect the data. They will talk to the different persons who are involved, maybe the garbage collectors. They'll be talking to them. They'll be talking to the gardener. They'll be talking to the one who is involved in the composting process. They will refer to newspapers, magazines. They'll Google it. They'll do it themselves, and then they will document it. It will require maybe, you say, 2 months, 3 months. And sometimes we feel it is a long journey and our subject matter suffered. We don't want to involve in such things. My dear educators, you just have to facilitate your learners and they'll be able to do the same on their own. If the same is in front of you, anybody can do it. It's my petty effort to share my learnings with you so that you all can also share your learning, and we'll be able to join our hands to make a bridge so that our children, they can easily walk on towards achieving their goal. SDG for quality education. So weaving and knitting, that is also a part of arts integration. When we teach about fiber and fabric, can we do something for the society? Can we integrate the same with seva? Socially empowered, that kind of, we can empower our children, like they will be able to do something for the society. They will be able to weave something. You see, it is actually a beautiful amalgamation, let me tell you. Just look here, researching outside, collecting data, writing documents, presenting the same on the screen. ICT, natural, you see, naturalistic learners, they are experiential learning, documenting through art as well, sciences too. So that is arts integration. Mind mapping, we can do mind mapping in different forms. You see, if you go Google it, there are hundreds and hundreds of ways of mind mapping. Mind mapping to foster our children's critical thinking. It's not like ready to use mind maps. They are available in the books and the children, they start copying it. That is not mind mapping. Children, they have to think critically and then put that particular word over there. They have to collaborate. It's not like I have to appear in the exam and I have just learned how this mind map is drawn and I'll do the same over there. That's not mind mapping. And then storyboard. If I talk about, see, storyboard, comic strip, we had already had a word about it. And then SEL. See, when we're talking about art integration, we are talking about each and everything. ICT, SEL, social, emotional learning. We can also talk about it. When the children, what is happening over here? Children, they are experiencing. We are talking about bones. Like, what is the function of this elbow bone, this joint, elbow joint? And when the child, this elbow has been tied, now the child is not able to move. During lunchtime, the child is not able to have his food. Social-emotional learning. Other children, they are empathizing. Child is also experiencing what is the benefit of a particular bone, particular joint. So that also happens. Now, 3D artwork can be done in any subject, in any form. Here, I suppose it maybe the last slide, art integrated project. I would like to talk about this, my dear educators. Art integrated project, read the circular very, very carefully. Art integrated project, it is there to foster research and it is about documentation. When we talk about, like, you see PhD scholars, they research about something, they invent something new. And this is also mentioned in CBSE circular, give the topics to the children for which the research has not been done yet. Give a new topic. Let the children think about that topic and let the children connect with the art form. Okay, so the children, they'll be able to connect the same with the art form, and then the children, they'll be able to research, document it, what something new they have found it. So then they can display the same. That is the project. And then that can be beautifully documented. It can be messy. Don't go ahead with the, decoration part that is there. Just look at the content, look at the research, what the child is coming to you with. So my lovely educator, this is what I just wanted to share with all of you. If you have any questions, you can go ahead with that. I'm just stop sharing my screen, and over to you, Himani ma'am. If there are some questions, we can take up those questions. I'll just stop sharing.
Yes, ma'am. Before that, I would like to thank you because you have added on to the intellectual pursuits of all our educators. Dear educators, if you have any query, request you to please raise your hands virtually and wait for your name to be called out. For queries, you're requested to raise your hand virtually. Or you can also post your queries in the chat box. Do we have any questions from any educators?
Can you suggest some maths activities, art integration? Imani ma'am, question. Can you
Yes.
suggest some maths activities integrated with art?
See,
Yes, sir.
there are number of activities that can be done in mathematics, whether you are talking about fractions, whether you are talking about, congruency and all. Just check it out. Number of activities, art integrated project, on measurement, number of activities are there that can be done in any of the subjects.
Similarly, ma'am, we have like what activities can be integrated with subjects like chemistry or physics? Anything you could suggest?
Himani ma'am, let me tell you, there is no subject that can't be integrated with art. For that, we need to have subject specific art integrated sessions as well. Different, documents, manuals, they are also available. I can even share the links also. Different documents, they are available on NCERT, on Setu Portal too. I have downloaded them all. I can share the links with all of them, from where they'll be able to get to know how different subjects can be integrated. Different activities they have been mentioned. My dear educators, go and check the learning outcomes manual and by NCERT, by CBSE, where learning outcomes have been mentioned. In front of it, different pedagogies they have been defined. Like these learning outcomes can be achieved through these pedagogical processes. Different art forms have been highlighted. You can go ahead with those art forms, or you can incorporate your own art forms as well.
Definitely, ma'am. Very, very well explained. Dear educators, if you have any query or you'd like to ask or suggest something, you're requested to virtually raise your hand and wait for your name to be called out. Or you can post your query in the chat box. Salam, sir. I think we do not have any such query as of now. Ma'am has explained really well.
Maybe, everybody wants how to connect arts to their subjects, their own subjects,
Yes.
like physics, chemistry, maths. We need, kind of, preparation before we go to the class. It's very easy. Whenever there is a subject to be integrated with art, it becomes very impressive to children, and that it remains with them for long, because there is total involvement. Whichever art form you select, it should be connected to the subject. For example, Madam was showing the making of, what do you call this, earring. That may be connected with a lot of other subjects. It can be connected with physics. It can be connected with maths. Its shape, round shape or whatever, triangle shape. You are making a triangle shape earring. It can be connected with maths. But then it can be connected with the social science also. Where can you find these types of earrings? Find out. So this is how art is connected with the different subjects, and it has it's many other implications as well, and it itself for English for other languages, the children can write about story. For example, I am like an earring. Okay, the earring is giving an anecdote or an experience or a diary entry. So language teachers can promote this type of activity. Suppose you are the earring, where were you born, and what have you been doing, or who created you, and what is your shape. All these can be connected with the language also. They can write story, they can write poems in English, Malayalam, or Hindi, whichever subjects, whichever language they have. So this is how art is connected. It becomes very easy for children, and it's a kind of joyful learning. So children's they become involved in the learning, so they become very creative. It enhances their imagination. So from very simple art objects, it can lead to different disciplines. Only thing is we have to sit and find out, okay, this is the earring, and this how I can connect with how I can use this creativity or the object I made with my subject. So students are led to think about and made to create more and more objects, pictures. Then they, as Madam has said, costumes. They wear costumes and describe about it. Social science. They make costumes and take pictures, or they draw. They draw costumes of different people around the, different states, and they describe the costumes, who wears the costume, social science, history, and there is language in it, and the length of the costume, and etc. etc. So maths in it. So this is how art integration works in teaching learning. So thank you so much, Meenakshi ma'am, for
So we have a little query. If you allow, I can take that up. In the post-pandemic world, because there's so much of learning loss, it's very difficult to encourage students to write. So ma'am, one of the educators has asked this question: can art integration be used in order to encourage students to write? Because definitely it promotes creativity, but how can we encourage them to write?
See, let me tell you, my lovely educators, we need to foster that kind of all the kind of skills through art. We need to look at the child's learning styles. We need to know about the child's interests. Like, I just give you one example. My child was not interested to write, or maybe he was not able to, he did not like Hindi. Right. I started giving him, because he was very fond of cricket and all. I started bringing Cricket Samrat magazine for him. I asked, you read it. And then he started having love for that particular subject, because that was related to whatever he liked. So accordingly, I started asking him, now if we are going out, let us start make a list in Hindi subject only. You will be making that, and what all spellings and matras will be wrong, I will not be buying that particular stuff for you. And slowly and gradually, you see, you have to do such kinds of activities for that. For that, it is not only the role of the teachers, but here when we talk about a triangle, certainly students, parents, teachers, everybody has to collaborate. And as NEP 2020 suggests, as the circulars by CBSE suggest, we need to make our stakeholders, our parents, our management, each and everyone should be aware of the learning outcomes. When we talk about achieving learning outcomes, we will be able to foster competency-based education. We will be able to foster now 4 competencies. We need to integrate art. We need to integrate multiple intelligences. So that is a bigger umbrella. Just you have to explore. You have to spend some time with the child during quality circle as well. Get to know more about their likes and dislikes. Then you will be able to achieve your goal.
Brilliantly explained, ma'am. So far, I think we do not have any queries. Salam, sir. Shall I proceed with the vote of thanks?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, sir. I would like to extend our gratefulness and appreciation to Dr. Meenakshi Narula for broadening our horizons by enlightening us with boundless discourse. Dear participants, kindly note the link for certificate and feedback form has been already posted. You're requested to fill up the form with all the necessary details. I, Himani Bakshi, along with CBSE Bharat Sahodaya, would like to thank Dr. Meenakshi once again for her gracious presence and an enriching experience. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Abdul Salam for his magnanimous support and guidance. Thank you, sir, for this great opportunity. Also, a big thank you to the technical team, Arun Mohan sir, Arafat sir, for a flawless execution of today's session. And most importantly, thank you all, the participants, for their enthusiasm. I sincerely hope we earned the privilege of your time. Over to you, Salam, sir.
Thank you, Imani ma'am. Ma'am, Lata has raised her hand. Lata.
Yes, sir. I'll just check, sir. We have some questions coming in. Ma'am Lata, could you please unmute yourself?
Lata or Sultana Begum.
Yeah. Ma'am Sultana, meanwhile, you can unmute yourself. I have exceeded the permission to unmute themselves, but somehow, yeah. Ma'am Sultana, you may ask your question.
Hello, madam. Very nice meeting this today. My question is, when children are going to study through the activity, that time they very full active. When go to give some any work for writing purpose, that time they sit very or sad mood. They don't interest like writing. How can I do that time?
Yeah, here, ma'am, I just would like to tell you, like, we don't have to teach both the things separately. I mean, we don't have to even define like out of 6 periods in a week, 1 period is for art integration and rest for studies. It should go hand in hand. So like as you have seen the children in these pictures, they have explored something and they had to document it. And for that, you go ahead with cooperative learning. In cooperative learning, we assign different roles to the students. It's not like that in a group because that is different. Collaborative and cooperative learning. They are two different things. In collaborative learning, children, they are working in a group and we do not know who is doing what because that's a group presentation. In cooperative learning, when there are 5 students, suppose in a group, you define different roles to them and they have to do the needful. So we have to do accordingly and children certainly they will look forward to writing because they have to present their work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. As educators, we have to relentlessly come up with new ideas for children's benefit, definitely. Any more questions do we have? Do we have any more questions from any of the participants?
No, ma'am.
I presume,
No,
sir,
no.
we are done with the Q&A.
Yes, I think we can wind up. Thank you so much. Sultana ma'am wants to ask again, or she has been raising her hand.
I think that this could be a glitch. I would still
Fakara Bibi.
Yes, sir. I'm asking her to unmute. Yeah.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can hear you, ma'am. Good evening.
Okay, here's the query about the, just now I was trying to put my details for the certificate. So I saw there is the fee to get the certificate and how we can pay 100 rupees because we are in UAE. So it is not possible for us to pay the 100 fee.